Hello and welcome to iBluairJgR Gaming for Comedy. This is a Battleborn match breakdown. In this match we're going to take a look at things from the point of view of Mellka. The game type is Meltdown and the map is Outskirts. Now before we get into it, let's take a look at the teams so we can see what we're bringing to the table and what we're going up against. My team is going to be Miko as the support and the healing, Reyna as the shielding support with a little bit of debuff action, Toby is going to be our ranged territorial brawler, Wrath is our melee assassin, and myself as Mellka as the ranged melee hybrid assassin. The enemy team is going to be Miko and Reyna as well, but they have an Oscar Mike as their ranged pusher, Thorn as a ranged agile sniper, and Deandy as their stealth assassin. Whew, that was a mouthful, but last thing before we get started, Mellka's abilities and the helix augmentations I select will be flashed on the screen. I won't always go into them in depth, so if you're new to the character, don't worry. Just keep your eyes open and pointed in the general direction of the screen and it will all be laid out for you. And we'll also talk about the gear as it comes up later in the match. Okay, now let's turn that dubstep music the fuck off. It's time to get serious. It's time to get down to business. Now, I like dubstep sometimes, but just now is not the time for it. I'm not trying to pick a fight with anyone except the members of the opposite team. Now, I think it's important to note that this is a group of randoms versus a group of randoms. This isn't going to be a pub stomp or a pug stomp, whatever you want to call it. We're all on pretty much an even playing field. I know there's a lot of talk in Battleborn about the matchmaking being skewed, but you know, sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't, and that is the case for pretty much every multiplayer video game you play. And this isn't a ranked mode, so you know, you kind of get what you get. You know, you're reaching in the bag and you're pulling out whatever. Sometimes it's good, sometimes it's bad, but either way, the match is beginning. The minions have reached the center of the lane and I am standing at a vantage point just raining death down on that shepherd minion, trying to hit that critical point as much as possible. Now Oscar Mike, he is kind of an easy target for a lot of assassin characters because he's not terribly mobile. He does have the ability to activate stealth, but he can't really dash around, he can't really move exceptionally fast without certain helix augmentations, and he is just getting chewed up, coming in for the kill, being very aggressive, using all of my abilities, Lunge Spike, and then finally finishing him off with that venom canister. And here we go. Mellka is a fantastic character to harass people with. She can shoot from range, launch those venom canisters whenever she decides to reload, it doesn't matter, and just keep that dot damage ticking on people. And looks like Deandy is getting tired of all the harassment. She's calling HR, but I'm not having it. I'm using all of my abilities once again. It looks like Reyna is here as well, getting that priority target on Deandy, but I do believe she just used her hollow clone, so she's pretty much gone. I could attempt to chase after her, but I am getting low on health myself, so I am going to stay in the back and just launch those canisters a little bit. Deandy is a very frightening target, and she is an assassin, but I think she's being a little bit too brave. Yeah, she's going down for that one. That is just punishing someone for being a little bit too aggressive, fighting myself and Reyna. She was going in for a 2v1 plus the minions. That probably wasn't the best idea on her part. But either way, it's still early. We're just now hitting level 2, selecting our second helix augmentation. But the early game, a lot of times, it can go either way. You know, we do have a lead. The score is 54-36. But that's not the end of the world. This is not a situation where you say, okay, you know what, guys, we're losing, let's surrender. No, no, no. This is one of those moments where you say to yourself, okay, we're off to a little bit of a rough start. The enemy team does have a lead on us. Let's get it together. Let's start being a little bit more serious. And here we go. I'm running back to the safe area to my team's side of the field, and I'm building up that healing station because I don't want to go all the way back to base every time I need to heal up. If you're wondering, hey, why can't Reyna heal me? Well, Reyna only has the ability to heal shields until, I believe, level 4 when she gets a helix augmentation that allows her to heal her teammates with her shield booster ability. So Reyna is going to be able to mitigate damage for me, but she's not going to be able to heal me up. I could run around and look for Miko and start bothering him, her, it, and just be like, hey, Miko, can you heal me? Can you? But no, I'll just put up the healing station. It's easier that way. Now, if you take a look at the score again, the enemy team has actually taken the lead back from us, and this is exactly the point I was trying to make before. Just because you start off a little bit rocky doesn't mean you should just give up immediately, and I am taking a pounding from Oscar Mike. He is, I believe, level 2 because I saw some flames coming up from his grenade launcher, so now he is going to be exceptionally good at clearing out minions, so this is going to start getting a little bit more difficult. Certain characters, they flesh out and become more volatile the more they level up. Mellka, she's kind of, in my opinion, she's always a strong character. She starts off very strong and just she augments that power with Helix abilities. Someone like Oscar Mike, he starts off, he's alright, but then he just gets more and more powerful. His abilities are very dynamic, but once again, we're seeing that the fact that he is kind of a slow character, I'm just running in, I'm being very three-dimensional with my movement, and there's not too much he can do to escape except for running back towards his accelerator. He was trying to get out of there towards the end of it, but he didn't get out fast enough. And that is the tricky thing with Mellka. She's very difficult to track, very three-dimensional. She's moving up, down, left, right. She's pressing start. She's activating cheat codes, all types of craziness. Very difficult character to follow. I personally find it very difficult to kill her with anybody that uses a hit scan weapon. It's a trick for me. It sucks very bad. Yeah. And the enemy team is actually taking a pretty sizable lead of about 50 points, 40 points. I can't do math that well. I think it's 40. But, you know, we're going to have to work together. We're going to have to start playing the lanes a little bit better if we want to come back. And it looks like I'm going for the aggressive play right now, chasing after Alani, trying to get her away from her teammates. And I got her into a corner, got some nice melees off, finished her off. And then it looks like I picked up an assist. I didn't even see who that was on. But either way, a kill's a kill. I'm not complaining. And I'm definitely not complaining about the fact that my team's Reyna has marked the enemy team's Reyna with priority target. So that means all of my damage to that target is going to be increased, but I'm not going to be able to stay in there and do too much damage because I think this is like a 3v3 action going on right now. We got Thorn over there putting down that blight, and that slowing effect is going to be very devastating to a character like Mellka that relies solely on her mobility to survive. She's definitely not a tanky character. She has no damage mitigation. She doesn't have a shield. She can equip one with gear, but I don't have one, so that's not going to work. And it looks like the enemy team put up a shock turret, so I'm trying to take that thing out without taking too much damage. Going to use the claw lunge as an escape. The cool thing about claw lunge is that you can point it wherever you want and just launch yourself into the abyss and just get out of dodge whenever you need to. And here we go. I'm being very aggressive right now because I do have the support of Miko and Reyna behind me. I believe Reyna is still there, so I'm going in, harassing the enemy team, trying to get them to say, you know what, we don't want to be here right now. We want to retreat and get back to our healing stations, return the base, just get them off the field. Reyna once again using that priority target very well, but Deandy is going to sneak away. They're going to put up that shock turret again, so I'm going to try and take it out. This is a pretty intense matchup right now. My team is actually still losing the lead by about 55 points or so right now, so this is starting to turn around for the worst at this point. We have to sort of get our wave clear a little bit better. The enemy team is clearing the waves a little bit better than we are, and it's probably because they have Oscar Mike and Thorn. Her blight is very good at clearing waves of enemy minions. It's a very big area of effect. It's a pain in the ass. I don't like it. I don't like blight. I'm not a fan. But I did actually select a piece of gear in the last encounter. That was Mellka's legendary item. It gives attack damage, reload speed, and every time I land a melee hit, it increases the speed of my next reload, which is definitely valuable for Mellka because she has the option to reload to increase her damage output via the venom canister. So it's going to be a good thing if I shoot, reload, get some melees in, reload again. And it looks like I'm going for that aggressive play on Reyna, trying to eliminate the supports as quickly as possible, going in for those melees. Pop, 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 pop. There's nothing she could do about that. My team was helping me, and we saw that reload almost instantaneous. That legendary item is very good. It looks like the poison might have killed Deandy, and here we go. The first taunt of the game is coming out. The rudeness. We're starting to feel it. The competition is going to start heating up, but we are actually losing by about 100 points now, so that taunt might have been in vain, because if we end up losing after I'm starting to get big in my britches, that's going to feel very bad at the end of the day. And I just hit level 5, so I do have access to my ultimate ability and a new Helix augmentation. This is a pretty cool Helix augmentation, Adrenaline Rush. Every time I melee a target that is affected with venom, I get an increase to my health regeneration for a few seconds, and that's just going to make me a little bit more survivable. I find that I play Mellka as has this melee ranged hybrid, so you know, having the ability to increase my health regeneration when I do decide to get in close is a valuable thing for me. And it looks like I did see Deandy coming up behind me, so I activated that claw lunge to try and get away from her, because Deandy, she's kind of scary, honestly. You know, Deandy and Mellka have a bit of a feud going on in the campaign. Mellka doesn't like Deandy because she's a degenerate. There's a bit of racism there, but you know, what are you gonna do? The degenerate kind of destroyed the Eldrid homeworld and a bunch of other stuff, and that's not good. And there are a lot of minions on that in that lane from the enemy. There's that giant minion, they have a shepherd minion. This is very bad, and I am actually going to go down for the first time in the match, and here we go. The taunts are coming out once again. Thorn is showing that she not playing games right now. Oof. That was nasty. But anyway, the reason you lose in a Meltdown match is because you're not controlling the lanes well enough. You're not killing minions fast enough, and you're not keeping the enemy team pushed back far enough. If you take a look at the top right-hand corner, you can see the mini-map, and my team is pushed all the way back to our accelerator. So essentially what that means is we're on the defensive, and pretty much as soon as our minions come out, the enemy team can just lay into them, and their minions get a free pass to our grinders, so that's not a good thing. Our first grinders have actually been deactivated, so now the enemy team actually has to push up even further. So that's going to be good for them, but what isn't good for them is when they get too aggressive without enough support with them. So we have pretty much the whole team is on this side of the map, and now they're starting to regret their decision. Thorn trying to run, but she not going to get nowhere. Girl, what you doing? Gonna crush that orb in my left hand. That's what it's all about. So that's a little bit of a revenge taunt going out there. This is getting kind of serious. Now, the enemy team going to get a nice score there once again. My team, 188. Enemy team is at 291. So we're still working from our first set of grinders, which means it's going to be easier for us to catch up than it is going to be for them to actually get more score. And that's the cool thing about the Meltdown game mode. Once you get past the 250 score mark, you have to push harder. You have to do more work. You have to get past the thumper turrets in order to get your minions to the grinder. So that just makes it a little bit more challenging to continue spiraling out of control. It looks like the enemy team is back on the field. I'm going for those healers, using the ultimate for the first time, and now I'm going in for those melee strikes on Alani, but she is going to get away. Their thumper turret is active, so I am not going to pursue her because I will get slowed, and then I'll be an easy target for Alani and her bubble ability. I don't remember what it's called. Let's just call it the bubble. That's good enough. And Alani's actually going to come right back out, but that is, I feel like that's a mistake on her part because yeah, not a good idea. She did try and catch me in the bubble, but I ain't slipping right now. I'm playing very seriously. I'm trying to win. I want my team to come back, and it looks like we are starting to creep ahead a little bit. Enemy team hasn't gone up too much in score, but we have finally broken the 200 mark. We're at 214. Our grinders have not yet moved to the secondary grinders, and wait a minute. It looks like I've caught wind of Deandy. She was trying to sneak somewhere, but it's just not going to work. And then Thorn following close behind, but my Reyna is here as well. She's going to put up the bubble, and that is definitely going to help mitigate some damage. Is she going to get away? No, she is not. I could taunt her again, but I feel like that's just adding insult to injury. I already got her back once, so I think that's enough. You know, it's a delicate balance with taunting. You know, sometimes, you know, you get a nice kill, you land a taunt, you know, screw it. But sometimes, you know, people will taunt after every kill, and that's a little bit obnoxious, but you know what? That's kind of what it's there for. The game encourages you to taunt, so who am I to say that I shouldn't be rude and taunt after every single kill, even if it's not in the most practical situation? I don't know, but it looks like what I do know is that I see Reyna and I want her dead. I'm being very aggressive, going in for the spike, going in for the claw lunge as well, but she is going to activate her shield booster, so that means her teammates are here, and I definitely went a little bit too far, and I'm getting punished very severely for that. Deandy going to dance all over me. She's saying that, you know what, you're doing too much. You need to get back to your side of the map, and that is unfortunately what I'm going to have to do as I respawn. But now is a good time for me to select some more Helix augmentation. The augmentations I selected are going to reduce the cooldowns of my abilities, and abilities are very important for Mellka. They're kind of her bread and butter. Her gun's powerful, her poison is powerful, but her abilities are what make her incredibly mobile and incredibly difficult to deal with. So that's pretty cool right there. I gotta adjust my seat real quick, because the game has actually the scores have become close again. It's 2 53 to 291. So it could go either way at this point. The enemy team does have a slight lead, but one good wave of minions from my team will mean that we take the lead. And what's happening right now is the enemy team does have, they have us pushed back, they have us playing the defensive again, but we have our thumper turrets up, and Oscar Mike, he is going to activate his stealth generator, but because I landed some poison on him, and it looks like he stepped in that parting gift and reapplied it to himself, it is very easy to track him, and they have a giant minion on the field, so I'm going to stay back and deal with that instead of chasing after Oscar Mike, who just put down his airstrike, so that's going to clear out my wave of minions. It looks like Deandy is coming up behind me, so I'm going to activate Claw Lunge to get myself into the air out of her melee range. Oscar Mike is still here. I'm going to use my ultimate on him. He's very low, so I'm going to go in for the melees, getting that health regeneration, and I was mid-animation on the ability that would have finished off Oscar Mike. We need to see that again in some slow motion. That was very sad. So this was pretty much a textbook meltdown situation. You're trying to push forward. Oscar Mike is being aggressive because he wants to score those points. He wants to destroy our thumper turret, but I'm not having it. I'm running at him, and it looks like, yeah, he did step in that parting gift and reapplied the poison to himself, so that means I can see that shimmering effect very clearly, so I can lay into him with my machine pistol, but he's too far. I'm prioritizing the objectives. The objective is the giant minions. Minions are oftentimes more important than kills in this game type, so I'm going after the minion. Oscar Mike is putting down his airstrike, which is denying a very large area of the map, and then here we go. I'm starting to hear those war fans from Deandy, so I launch into the air with Claw Lunge, keeping myself safe from her melee attacks for a decent amount of time, but I come back down and now I'm vulnerable. I don't have any abilities except my ultimate. I activate it, shoot it off, but I missed the first and the last claw from the ultimate ability. I'm going in for those melees, so my health regen has advanced to 14 health per second, but it's not enough. I'm getting swarmed by 3 people, and then Deandy gonna dance all over my dead body talking about going with that bullshit, Mellka. Ain't nobody got time for all this poison, all this jumping around. We trying to play a game right now. Ain't nobody got time for this foolishness. So very unfortunate situation, but we are gonna get right back into the action. We're gonna speed up any second now. There we go. We're back to normal speed. Looks like Reyna is in the thick of it. She's fighting with Toby, kind of backing her up a little bit with that railgun. But our Toby is being more of a sniper as opposed to a front line sort of get in your face, put up that force field kind of aggressive character. There's a lot of different ways to play Toby. He's a versatile character. So here we go. I'm back on the field. I'm running back. Looks like Oscar Mike did in fact destroy our thumper turret. He went back for it without healing up, and it looks like I might actually be able to take him out if I can land one more piece of poison, a couple more bullets, launching that venom canister. But is it? No, it's not going to kill him. It's not going to kill him. That's very unfortunate. So he did manage to destroy our thumper turret, but I do have enough shards to build it back to its maximum capacity, so that is definitely advantageous for us. And am I going to buy this giant minion? No, must not be the right time. There's a good time to buy a giant minion and a bad time. A good time is when you have a wave already pushing. You know, you can get it to sort of sync up. You can get the giant minion to sync up with Shepherd minion, but that is not what's going to happen right now, because our waves are pretty much dead, and we are, you know, we're on the defensive. We've been on the defensive for the majority of this game, and that is definitely why the enemy team has a lead. It's a small lead at this point. You know, it's about 60 points. We could still come back. You know, I'm holding on to hope. There's, 14 minutes left? But wait a minute now. Things are starting to get serious. I'm landing that spike on Thorn, so that's going to drastically cut her mobility. Activating my ultimate ability, but I'm pretty sure I missed all 3 hits. But she is backed into a corner. I am trying to finish her off, but Reyna is going to heal her up. And I did actually get caught in the bubble, but the enemy team did not capitalize on that. They could have easily finished me off if they all focused on that bubble. And Deandy, she is being relentless. She is coming after me. She must not have liked that first time I taunted her way back when. She almost killed me, but thankfully Miko is healing me up very quickly. Miko is being a pocket healer for everybody on the team. Miko is trying to keep everybody alive, and that's definitely what Miko is supposed to do. Got to spread that love, got to spread that fungus, and I did in fact get Deandy. Go on, girl. You done bit off more than you could chew. So we did actually come out of that encounter with, it was a 2-for-1 trade. We killed 2 of them, and they only killed 1 of us. They killed Wrath. I think Wrath is having a hard time. I'm pretty sure Wrath has died more than anyone else on our team. So it's always bad, you know, when you just have that match where you're just getting slaughtered over and over again. And it seems like that is what's happening to Wrath. Because, speaking of getting slaughtered, the enemy, this has nothing to do with being slaughtered, but the enemy team has their accelerator turret active, so their minions are actually pushing up farther and faster than ours. So that is a very bad thing. It would definitely be prudent for us to rebuild the accelerator turret, the accelerators. That's something I feel like a lot of people neglect. Accelerator turrets are very, why do I keep calling them fucking turrets? They're very valuable to the Meltdown game mode and even the Incursion game mode. And D'Andy almost actually finished me off in that situation. I'm going to use my ultimate possibly as a scare tactic, but it didn't actually hit her at all. So I don't know. I don't know what that was all about. But either way, accelerators are very important to the flow of Battleborn. And now I'm at about 50% HP, so I'm going to look at my Helix while that healing station is healing me up. It's a nice quiet time. You know, it's time to kind of take a breather, relax a little bit, but now we got to get right back into the action because D'Andy is here. She's activating her ultimate. It looks like she's trying to use it just for me, but I am going to step out of the range of it, so that's a good thing. But the cooldown on her ultimate ability is reduced to 10 seconds if she doesn't actually hit someone with it. And I just got an assist that might have been from a turret or from some poison or something. I'm not really sure, but either way, I'll take it. I ain't mad at it. That means my team is doing work while I'm over here defending, so that's always a good sign. So, with 12 minutes left in the match, the score, it's a close, you know, we're holding on to hope. There's no surrender vote coming out because we can still win this. I'm chasing after Oscar Mike, trying to get him to retreat, and that's definitely what's going to happen. Switching my attention to Thorn, trying to get her to retreat, going in for the spike, landing some melees. I'm going to land in her blight, but it doesn't matter. I'm going to have Claw Lunge. That's going to close the gap. Going to finish her off very quickly. Now, D'Andy is here as well, but she doesn't seem to be paying any attention to Miko. It might have been more prudent for her to go after Miko first because Miko is being my pocket healer for right now. And it looks like D'Andy's very aggressive in this match. She might have taken the lifesteal Helix augmentation. I'm not sure, but either way, she's activating her ultimate right in my face, using that thing selfishly just to get at me, but it's not going to finish me off, and I am going to be able to escape. Reyna going to turn around and give me an overshield, and Miko is going to heal me up as well, so that's a good thing. I got them heals in the bank, and guess who doesn't? D'Andy, because she dead, so that's a good thing. My healers are doing an exceptional job, or my support, I should say, they're doing an exceptional job in this match. And, you know, that's always something to note. In Battleborn, they have the ability to heal, but they're not just healers. They're, oh my goodness, Toby landed that stun mine, and we all mauled that Reyna. That was brutal. And it looks like Thorn is going to be the next one to go down. Going to activate my ultimate, then finish her off with a melee. Is this a time to taunt? Probably. But you know what? We're trying to win now, so we ain't no time to be bitter. Ain't no time for some bad manners. We just got to get in there. We got to keep fighting. Trying to take out Alani now, shooting that thing. Oh man, it looks like I almost got bubbled, but I activated Claw Lunge both offensively and defensively, trying to get out of that bubble and trying to close the gap. And now I'm going for that Thumper turret. But healers in Battleborn, they're not just healers. They should be supporting in addition to healing. And fucking Jesus Christ, getting killed by D'Andy and taunted once again. I'm starting to get tired of that shit. Starting to get tired of that little flamenco dance nonsense. My goodness, this is an intense match, and it looks like one of my teammates is going to get bubbled. I think that's Reyna. Can't really see that well through the fog of the Helix menu. Selecting a few more augmentations, getting that level 10 augmentation as well. At this point, it's just going to be a test of skill. It's not about the levels anymore. It's just about the skill. I'm level 10. There's no more improvement that I can have for my character. Let's see if I can pull a win out of this. Let's see if my team can pull a win out of this. It's going to be tricky. The score is getting closer and closer. The clock is ticking down faster and faster. Well, the clock is ticking down at the same speed, but it just feels like it gets faster when you get into that crunch time area. And it looks like Oscar Mike is just wreaking havoc in our base, and he does have D'Andy there with him as well. And she is going to land her ultimate on me, but I think the healing station is going to keep me alive. It's such a good thing that we built that thing up. Whoever put it up, D'Andy going to try and slay the healing station. She's going to activate her hollow clone. I did kill the clone, but I think I got her as well. And you know what? Fuck it. I'll taunt her in some fire. It don't matter. I got that swag like that. And I just had faith that Reyna was going to be by my side and she's going to land her priority target on Oscar Mike. So now we can see him even though he is invisible. So we are going to lay into him and Reyna's going to pick up the kill. So that, you know what? That was a good exchange right there. But the score, the enemy team has widened the gap even further. So at this point, we need more than just one good minion wave to pull out a win here. We're going to have to take out their thumpers. We're going to have to get a big push, maybe even get a giant minion. Is that what I'm gearing up for? I have 1,000 shards with me. No, it looks like there's a bit of a team fight going on. Miko is low, but I'm low as well, so I'm going to try and defend Miko. Going to get some melee hits in there, but I am going to go down to Thorn once again. She's just going to land a nice snipe, but Wrath, he's been having a hard time all game, but he's going to come in and get a double kill. He's going to show us that he is worth having on this team. He's like, you know what, guys, I've been fucking up, but I'm going to get a double kill for y'all. So this is a good time for us to potentially spawn some giant minions, maybe try and push up a little bit, destroy some of their objectives, or hell, maybe even just kill Alani, because Reyna putting in work, and she's going for D'Andy as well. It's very unfortunate that this isn't a custom game where I can switch around to different cameras just playing a solo queue match, because my team is doing so well. They're doing so many different things to sort of pull out this win. They are trying their damnedest to make sure this works out for us. And here we go. I'm finally spawning that giant minion. Looks like I'm spawning the giant minions on both sides, so the enemy team is going to have to decide which side they want to go for to protect, if they want to protect the left or the right, because if they leave either side, if they leave both sides undefended, they're going to be screwed. If they leave one side undefended, they're going to be screwed. It looks like Wrath was beating on Thorn, but I came in just to help him out, give him a little bit of extra damage. It looks like D'Andy is here as well. It's unfortunate that I wasn't mic'd up. I could have told Wrath, wait a minute, man, come back, I need some help. But it looks like maybe I don't need some help in this situation, because D'Andy is going down, and I do have my ultimate ability available. Going to do some nice burst damage to her, but it is not enough to take her out. She is in the presence of both of her support characters, Alani and Reyna, so I am getting the hell out of dodge, using that quick melee to slide out the way, slide to the left, slide to the right. We're doing the Casper slide right now. We are trying to get away from this situation. We do have our accelerator turret up, so that is going to give me the speed boost that I need to get out of dodge, and my team is going to pick up an assist. Wow, so we did end up getting D'Andy in that situation, but you know what? Looks like I'm staying. I was going to fall back, but I am going to stay, maybe look for Miko, try and get some heals that way. But we do have a giant minion available to us. I haven't been playing League of Legends. I don't know why I called it a super minion. But yeah, Miko is here. She's going to heal me up, but I took a big bit of burst damage that might have been from a grenade from Oscar Mike, maybe even his airstrike or something. I don't know, but I'm taking damage from somewhere. But Miko being the pocket healer that we need, maybe not the one we deserve. Who knows? I don't know. I never understood what that meant in the Dark Knight. Probably never will. But this is a very desperate situation right now. We're all going for those Hail Marys, trying to take out the healers, trying to be aggressive, trying to kill everyone, get that last bit of minion action pushed to the other side of the field, because the enemy team has not scored a lot of points for a long time. It's 401 to 350. We just got a big push. Toby and Reyna are on the right side of the map if you take a look at the mini-map. So they're putting in work while we're putting in work on the left side, trying to get our minions pushed up as well. Miko just landed a stun on Thorn. Wrath getting that knock up, and he is just spinning. He's using his auto attacks. He's getting her backed into a corner, but she's going to slip out because she all skinny. She probably oiled up and shit. She just slipping through the sides. So she is going to get away, so that is unfortunate, but we are finally getting them pushed back to where they had us pushed back for the majority of the game. I'm going after Reyna. If I can get her killed, that's going to be a very good thing. I did try and slow her with my spike ability, but it's not going to be enough. That thumper turret is going to ensure that I cannot secure the kill. But the right side, they're putting in work. They're getting a little bit of score every once in a while, and we actually do have a couple of minions pushed up to the thumper, so if we can get that thumper turret down, we will actually be able to start getting minions through and potentially win this game for us. So this is tense. So ladies and gentlemen, if you've ever wondered to yourself, does Battleborn have intense competition? Yes, it does. You know, if you're sitting around and you're getting just stomped out, if you're getting blasted and getting beat up by people, and you think it's like, oh, is it just everybody always whooping people's asses and the matchmaking's always unfair? It's not always unfair. Sometimes it's unfair. Sometimes you lose. And losing in MOBA style games is never fun. All right, but it is fun when you get intense competition like this. It is fun when you get an even game. And that was pretty intense. Deandy was using her ultimate ability, but it looks like I jumped over it and maybe possibly out of the line of sight for it. So that's a nice move on my part, and she is going to retreat in the end. So now the score has pretty much caught up. We've closed the gap. This is like, you know, it's like, I was going to make a really obscure Dragon Ball Z reference. I'm not going to do it. But either way, we closed the gap. I've been watching too much of that lately. That's not the point. The point is, Battleborn, it's a fun game, all right, but I'm not, now's not the time to sing the praises of this game. Now is the time to get in Reyna's face and make sure that she cannot provide support to her team. She did manage to get off another shield booster, and Deandy did come back and activate her ultimate once again, and it did hit a couple of people, so that is unfortunate. We did actually take out their healing station finally, so now we are just trying to finish them off, trying to get this. We have a big wave of minions here. This is probably not a good time to taunt, but I'm doing it anyway because it's time for the bad manners, it's time for the aggression, it's time to crush their spirit in addition to crushing their score. So here we go, going after the minions, using my abilities to kill them, and then switching my attention back to Thorn. These are the moments that you live for when you play Battleborn. You look for these matches. When you play any MOBA style game, it's matches like this that you really want. I mean, come on, let's be honest here, people. If you play League of Legends, you know most of the time solo queue is bullshit. If you play Paragon, you know most of the time solo queue is bullshit. If you play Overwatch, if you play casual, most of the time people picking 3 Widow Makers and 4 Soldier 76s, and it's bullshit, alright? So stop trying to act like this is a problem exclusive to Battleborn. Okay, let's just stop pretending that the world is only on fire when we're playing Battleborn. And I did actually go down, and I am gonna get taunted once again by Thorn, so that's very unfortunate. So here we go. We got to take a look at what the rest of the team is doing. It is 3 of us down. The score is very close. Toby is going to have to defend. He is the last bastion of success. Everybody on my team is doing an exceptionally good job. We have a tremendous amount of kills. We've got a lot more kills than they have. Toby is definitely doing a good job keeping them from scoring any points on the side that he is on. I think he was on the left side, so everybody else is alive now. We are rushing back. There's a minute left on the clock. We are down by 20-ish points. I can't see the number right now, but I think it's 20 points. So we are all just trying to get, we just need one more minion. We need one more big minion to get in there, and we can win this game, and we are going to try and do that. We are all going to race to our respective lanes, and we're going to try and get that last push. Oscar Mike, he is here. He was trying to do some nefarious things. He's probably going to activate his cloak pretty soon, or maybe it's on cooldown, or maybe he's going to try and get aggressive with me. I ain't going to have that. Ain't nobody got time for that. Go on with that bullshit. So, so here we go. But wait a minute. I may have made a bad decision. I probably should have just kept running away, but it looks like at this point it's do or die. I'm staying in the thick of it, trying to kill as many people as I can, because if we can finish people off, if we can get kills in a situation like this, that's a double. Are we going to get a triple? We're going for that. Oh baby, we're going for that. Oh baby, but it looks like whoever that was snuck away. So oh baby, it wasn't a triple, so that's kind of sad. So we have 24 seconds on the clock. So at this point, if we can get one Shepherd minion across the line, we can actually win it. So we're trying desperately to clear the lanes, but at this point, I don't know if our minions are actually going to move fast enough. 10, 9, 8. Oh my goodness, this is so shitty. Just the minions are right at the finish line. Look at that. They're hobbling. They're putting in work. They're like, we can do it, guys. We can do it. But they couldn't do it fast enough. That's very unfortunate, but that was a tremendously exciting game. That was very fun. It was very intense. Battleborn, very cool game. It's definitely worth checking out. You know, if you catch it on sale, that's always a good thing. I find the game worth playing. It's, you know, it's got a story mode, it's got multiplayer, all that type of good stuff. But either way, the name of the game is Battleborn, as you already know. The name of the channel is iBluairJgR Gaming for Comedy. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you next time.